Stand by for action.
This is the second of the April action films videos. So this one features some VHS tapes. So this is about 90s action films that are not sci-fi and not martial arts films, which narrows down the field a bit. There are a couple of other videos in this from fellow YouTubers with their top 10 90s action films.
United Artists presents Robert De Niro.
I won't hurt you.
Ronin.
Get ready to rock.
Try terrorism for hire. We'll blow some stuff up. It's more fun.
Con Air. Bruce Willis. Damon Wayans. The Last Boy Scout. Die Hard with a vengeance.
So let's see what we've got here. So first off, we'll start with these two action 80s films. Big buff men with lots of guns and bullets. But then along came Die Hard and changed the field, where an everyday man could be an action hero as much as anyone else. But then action films sort of split off when martial arts became popular with these two films, with Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the splits and leading the charge for martial arts films throughout the 90s. The two main subgenres of 90s action films was Die Hard rip-offs and Terminator 2 rip-offs. So we'll start with the Die Hard rip-offs. So after Die Hard, the 90s was filled with Die Hard rip-offs and sequels.
It's Christmas Eve in LA, and New York cop John McClane is shopping with his wife.
California.
Everyone on the floor must now. Attention shoppers. For the next 10 minutes, we will have a special offer. $2 million in Christmas coupons in exchange for your life. That's Vadanya and ciao.
What country is this guy from?
They're as brilliant as they are ruthless.
I want the Christmas coupon.
Beat me.
Bon appetit, Mr. Zippo.
But he's very cunning. Find him! Paper or plastic, you son of a...
They say lightning can't strike 12 times. But don't tell him.
Hey, fellas, gotta eat your greens! Who the hell is this guy?
Who are you? You're very annoying.
I got news for you, pal. That's what the people pay to see.
Bruce Willis.
You just destroyed an entire deli section, mister! What do you think I'm doing here, comparison shopping, huh? What does he think he's doing?
His job.
I'm in charge here! Scumcheck aisle 6. He's alone. He's tired. The food is rotten. The bathroom is locked. Oh. And he's running out of one-liners. Think, damn it, think. Sorry to pick on you guys. Yeah.
Your coincidental appearance at every terrorist attack on Christmas Eve grows tiresome, Mr. Bad Boy. Shut up!
Come to the store, we'll go shopping, we'll get a Christmas turkey.
Die Hard 12. Die Hungry.
How could the same thing happen to the same guy so many times?
Bruce Willis, Die Hard 12. Coming this Christmas to theaters everywhere.
There were a number of sequels and rip-offs. So let's start with these. Let's start with the sequel. Die Hard 2, Die Harder, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard on a Bus, Die Hard on a Plane, Die Hard on a Plane, Die Hard on a Mountain, Die Hard on a Plane, Die Hard on a Plane, Die Hard on Alcatraz, I guess. And one of my favorites, Die Hard in Beverly Hills. The Taking of Beverly Hills, great fun.
Beverly Hills, richest city in America and home of Boomer Hayes, football's hottest quarterback.
Do you have any champagne?
It's in the refrigerator. But tonight, while Boomer is going for the score, Beverly Hills is hitting the skids.
The truck's gone over. We got a spill. We got an emergency. You are hereby ordered to evacuate your homes immediately.
Get Boomer! He's in the house!
Go get him.
Who in the hell is Boomer?
Probably your dog.
The city of Beverly Hills is now quarantined and all access is closed.
But this disaster is no accident. Taken. It's a smokescreen for the biggest heist in history.
All right, beautiful.
And every house, every shop, all of Beverly Hills would have been theirs for the taking.
700 million. Way past Jerry Lewis.
Except for one tiny detail.
True.
Now,
I'm not playing defense!
the one man they left behind is the only one who can stop them. Ken Wall. The Taking of Beverly Hills. There goes the neighborhood.
So yeah, that is just a small number, and now here is another list of technically Die Hard rip-offs.
Okay, so 10 action movies from the 1990s, not sci-fi related. I've left James Bond off of these lists. So let's look at 10 of my favourite action films from the 1990s very quickly. So, no particular order here whatsoever, but number 10, Marked for Death, Steven Seagal, fantastic. Another fantastic Seagal one was Hard to Kill. I like this era of Seagal. Number 8, Face Off. Now I know that does that go into science fiction territory? I don't know, but there you go. It's more action than sci-fi anyway. Number 7, another Seagal, Under Siege 2. I have a lot of love for this film. I know it's not the greatest, but I really enjoy it. 6, The Last Action Hero, a movie that was ahead of its time, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Number 5, Speed, Keanu Reeves. What a great film. Die Hard on a Bus. Speaking of Die Hard, number 4, Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Number 3, Die Hard with a vengeance. Fantastic film. Number 2, Con Air. Jesus Christ, I saw Con Air so many times at the cinema. I loved it. And number 1, The Rock. Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage. What a fantastic action film that one was. Con Air and The Rock, 2 of my favourites from the 1990s. That's why they are in those top spots. Anyway, that's it. That's me done. Thank you, Gareth, for asking me, and just very quickly done. There you go. See you later.
Die Hard had its list of rip-offs, so did Terminator 2. Here are a list of those, straight-to-video ones mostly.
Hello, so this is going to be my entry into Gareth's Video Tasties Top 10 Action Films in the 90s. Now, this was a difficult one for me because I have a brain that just melts when I come to thinking of specific details. So I had to look up basically what most people consider action films, just so I wouldn't at least upset the masses, if you know what I mean. It's quite difficult, if I'm honest. I picked 10, and they're in no particular order. Well, at least I've tried to keep them by the year they were released. So this is going to be my 10. If this doesn't make it into the video, because to be fair, I'm quite late, then it'll be up on my channel and you get to enjoy it in all your glory, and I will direct you to Gareth's video in the description. So, with that said, my top 10 action films, and yes, there are going to be some odd choices in here, of the 90s are, starting with the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Absolutely fantastic movie. I grew up with the Turtles. Live action adaptation did not fail for me at all. It was just fantastic. Then we have Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Technically similar to the first film, just on a plane, but still a fantastic film nonetheless. Yes, an action film. Action sci-fi, but still an action film. We all know James Cameron was great for taking sci-fi, horror, whatever property, turning it into a full-on action movie. So, Terminator 2 Action Judgment Day. Nobody can dispute that this is a fantastic film. It really is. Still prefer the first. But, that said, Last Action Hero. Absolutely fantastic movie. Very funny. The music's just fantastic. And obviously Arnie and the acting, just absolutely. Followed by Stallone and Demolition Man. Now, Stallone and Snipes in this was just amazing. All of these films are just amazing. But yeah, I first saw this film when it had the Pizza Hut references. So, if you've seen the film and you know the history, you know what I mean. In the UK, because, or at least in Europe, most people know Pizza Hut more than Taco Bell, and they overdubbed and put a picture of Pizza Hut up over the Taco Bell sign. It's funny because of that. I wish I still had a copy of it on DVD. Anyway, there's that choice. Then we have sort of a thriller, but still quite, high in the action. It does, at least according to Google, consider it an action film, so I'm going to go with it. Blame Google, not me. It's a bit controversial in places, but you can't dispute the fact that this is a fantastic movie. It is a classic for a reason. There's my, what is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my 6th choice. I'm quite tired. It's early in the morning. I thought, while I'm up, I'd just blast this out. Next, Speed. Yes, fantastic. Die Hard on a Bus. Yeah, you can call it that, but no, it's Keanu Reeves in this was just amazing, and the stories of him sort of doting over Sandra Bullock on set are just fantastic. Yes, that's off-screen, behind-the-scenes stuff, but just, again, another film you cannot dispute is fantastic. Whether this makes it into other people's lists, I don't know. But then we have Face Off. John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Absolutely I'm going to be saying fantastic a lot in this video. Watching Travolta play the mad side and Cage tried to be the more subdued, emotionally serious side. It was just amazing seeing them swap places in this film. And of course, Cage's general performance, you know what word I'm thinking of, fantastic. The next two are going to be more obvious, and yes, he's appearing a bit in this list. Mr. Cage. The Rock. The only descriptor I can have for all of these films are fantastic. The thrill of watching this film when I first saw it, the oh my god, is it gonna blow, was just amazing. And seeing Sean Connery just lead the way, it was just fantastic. Now, Connie. Another film that just showed the real serious dramatic side to Cage. And Malkovich, oh, he really played the villain well in this. And yeah, it's just another strong example of 90s action. This is going to be a short one. That's mainly it. I'm just showing you my list. I would show you my physical copies, but there ain't no chance in hell I'm digging out my Nicolas Cage films from under a pile of stuff that's there. Plus, all my other films are spread out around the flat somewhere. I do own them all physical. Most of them DVD. So, yeah. What do you think? What do you think of my 10 movies? My favourite of the list is going to be this one. That's going to be a controversial choice. And if I had to choose a least favourite, I don't know. I'm going to have to quickly look through them again. We got Die Hard, Terminator 2, Demolition Man. Where? Yeah, we'll go with Leon. It's not a terrible film, but compared to all the others on the list, probably more on the thriller side. So I'll definitely go. For my least favorite action film in all of these, I'll go with this one. So, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. And if this did happen to make it into the video, cheers Gareth. I'm sorry it's late. But you guys take care. And I will see you in another video. This is Pro Physical Media, last survivor of the late video series, signing out.
And I want to look at some more great action films that are non-martial arts and non-sci-fi. Broken Arrow, John Woo directing Travolta and Slater, after a nuclear bomb is stolen. I guess GoldenEye, can't have some action without some Bond. With Pierce Brosnan's first outing. Dolph Lundgren, staple of a lot of 90s action in Joshua Tree. Robert De Niro doing some action in a great European action thriller, Ronin. Charlie Sheen and Michael Biehn as Navy SEALs, saving the day. Or Dolph Lundgren and Louis Gossett Jr., who also appeared in The Punisher with him. Cover up. Christopher Lambert in Gunmen. And you'll notice most of these are 15 to 18s, which is how we like our action. 2 Lethal Weapon films, 3 and 4. Maybe a 5th one soon. Bruce Willis in The Last Boy Scout. And you got Hard-Boiled. I know this is probably 80s in some countries, but I think it was 90s in the Western Hemisphere. Clint Eastwood, last cop thriller, The Rookie. Who knows what I got this? Dennis Rodman trying some action in Simon Says. I should give this a watch. It looks terrible. Nicolas Cage again, with music by Phil Collins and Wings of the Apache, a sort of Top Gun ripoff. And then Point Break. 100% pure adrenaline. One of the best 90s action films there is.
I'm too old for this shit. Hey, Riggs!
Observe.
What I wouldn't give for some action.
Every one of you bastards.
Better to be dead and cool than alive and uncool.
What's up, chillers? It's me, your friendly neighbourhood Vastman. It's been a minute since I did a video like this, but this one is for Gareth from Video Tasty channel, who has invited us to count down our top 10 action movies of the 90s. The caveat being no sci-fi action or martial arts action films, and that suits me just fine. My channel is Horror Lives Matter, and you can find me on YouTube. I've got some action themed videos on my channel, and it just so happens the 90s was my favourite decade for action. With horror, the golden era was the 80s in my opinion, but After 1990, great horror films were few and far between. So for me, it was the action film genre that picked up the slack and provided the thrilling entertainment, the immersive experience that was so lacking in my favourite genre. And the movies, they were bigger, cooler, funnier and more fast-paced. But most importantly, they were engaging. Perfect escapism, and that's what I'm looking for in these types of films. Okay, so my top 10 is a list of those 90s action movies that I enjoy the most, I find to be the most rewatchable and had the biggest impact on me growing up. I'll start off with some honourable mentions that fit those same criteria but just didn't make the list. But they are all crowd pleasers in my books though, and come highly recommended. Oh man, there were so many great big action films in the 90s. I really wanted to have Face Off on them.
Is it Vass?
What's that now?
Mr. Vass?
Anthony Hopkins. Dude, I was just telling the good folks how I was going to put John Woo's 1997 Face Off starring Nicolas Cage and John Travolta on my list, but alas, it's a sci-fi, so it's not allowed. That's right, I did check. You don't have to take my word for it. I mean, it's about dudes swapping faces, so yeah. If anyone else has it on their list, I'm afraid that's cheating. Can't have that. Sorry, but all those lists are rendered null and void. Hey Tony, what would you do if someone put the sci-fi action film Face Off on a top 10 action list where sci-fi is not allowed? What would you do?
Today, I'm gonna kill the motherfucker.
Harsh. Gene Wilder, what would you do?
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
It's not competition.
Sir, I said good day.
Alright. Right guys, I've got to get this video done. So they just missed the list, but let's get on to the top 10 in earnest. And I've tried to rank these movies holistically on how much I enjoy the entire film, not just the action scenes. So in at number 10 we have The Hard Way from 1991. This is a buddy cop action comedy. It stars Michael J. Fox as action movie star Nick Lang, who wants to play a hardball cop for his next role, and so he decides to go incognito in the New York Police Department, and he partners up with tough New York cop John Moss, played by James Woods, to get the job. I flippin' love this movie. It's funny and exciting. Michael J. Fox is at his charming and likeable best, and James Woods, he's just magnificent as this irascible, grizzled cop on the hunt for the party crasher, a serial killer running amok in the city. The movie has a lot of heart, it's full of quotable lines, the stars are cool, and the comedy is on point. The chemistry between the two leads and how the story unfolds is just classic. Like most of these movies on the list, this is a comfort movie for me. So watchable, a feel-good film. In at number 9 is Point Break, again from 1991. Keanu Reeves is rookie FBI agent Johnny Utah, who goes undercover to infiltrate a group of surfers who are implicated in a series of bank robberies. This thrill-seeking crew of surfers is led by Bodhi, played by Patrick Swayze. As someone who has zero interest in the surfer lifestyle, Point Break is a wildly entertaining action film. It's adrenaline fuel. The tagline is 100% pure adrenaline, and it's an apt description in my opinion. It has to be said, Keanu Reeves is not wholly convincing in his performance.
I am an FBI agent!
I get that, but he's hugely likeable in this role, and I think his, let's say, theatrical interpretation is nicely offset by Swayze's more grounded performance. But it's all thrilling stuff nevertheless. The robberies, the action set pieces, the stunts are all expertly staged by director Catherine Bigelow to elicit maximum exhilaration. The supporting cast is phenomenal as well. We have Gary Busey as Utah's partner, Angelo Pappas. He's fantastic and funny. And John C. McGinley, who is always good value as Utah's boss. Point Break has probably the best and most iconic foot chase ever put on film. Dude, it's a stone cold classic action film. Don't let anyone tell you different. At number 8 is Lethal Weapon 4. Yes, 4. I love all the Lethal movies. 2 is my favourite, but it's not 90s. What I love is the characters of Merton Riggs and the chemistry they have and the way their relationship has developed through the franchise. The opening action scene with the guy decked in Kevlar with a flamethrower is absolutely brilliant. It's my favourite opener of all the Lethal Weapons. And Jet Li is a fantastic villain, right up there with Gary Busey from the original. And you know, it's just a great bookend to a phenomenal, fun-filled franchise. Number 7 is Con Air from 1997. I'm sure everyone is familiar with Con Air. The film is just a blast. A perfectly crafted action film with a huge cast and everyone just nails their role. Nick Cage is in full action hero mode and it's a sight to behold. He's so cool in this film. It stacks one action scene on top of the other and it never stops, but it stays fun and engaging throughout. It's really quite impossible to not love a film like this that delivers everything you want from start to finish. It's a winner.
Thank you and have a pleasant flight.
Die Hard with a Vengeance 1995 is at number 6. I was already a massive Die Hard and Bruce Willis fan, and this third film in the franchise does not disappoint. It's a departure from the previous entries, but in a good way, as this one is more of a buddy action film, which happens to be my favourite type of action film. Willis's super cop John McClane is joined this time by Samuel L. Jackson. The Die Hard dynamic is different here, but it still delivers the outlandish action and fun banter in spades. All expertly handled by original Die Hard director and maestro of the genre, John McTiernan. We get some fantastic over-the-top and audacious set pieces, and I for one relish every second of it. The Long Kiss Goodnight 1996 is at number 5, directed by Reddy Harlan and written by Shane Black, who appears 2 more times on this list. This is an underrated gem in my opinion, and another buddy action film. It didn't do well at the box office, which is just crazy to me. So the plot is Gina Davis. She plays a school teacher, Samantha Kane, who suffers from amnesia, and she hires low-rent private eye Mitch Hennessy, Sam Jackson again, to help her uncover her past. Well, it turns out she's actually spy and trained assassin Charlie Baltimore, and boy is she a badass action hero. Man, this movie is just a blast to watch. I love it so much. You'll struggle to find a movie with smarter, sharp-witted banter and more quotable line deliveries. If this movie didn't have any action in it, it would still be super entertaining. Luckily though, the plot is punctuated with some awesome stunts, gunplay, car chases, explosions and general mayhem. Anyway, The Long Kiss Goodnight is a terrific, funny, fast-paced action film with an impressive, explosive, big-budget finale. Schwarzenegger's 1993 box office disaster Last Action Hero is in at number 4. Look, now this is my favourite Arnie film. I don't think it's his best, but you know, for me it's the most fun and most rewatchable. And let's be real, the action in this movie is legit amazing. The movie is goofy and silly at times, but it's also smart and clever and quite ahead of its time. This was the scream of the action genre. The Last Action Hero was meta probably before the term was even coined. I think it was called postmodern back then. If you haven't seen it, the jumping off point is a 12 or 13-year-old kid. He's a big movie fan and he gets a magic ticket and is transported into Arnie's latest blockbuster, Jack Slater 4.
Who the hell are you?
This is another classic nostalgic pick for me. The first time I saw Last Action Hero, I just fell in love with it. I was well into it. Everything about this film worked for me. The humour, thank you again Shane Black, was on point. The story's fantastic, a real if only this could happen to you. I mean, who hasn't fantasised of being inside the world of a movie you love? John McTiernan's direction is faultless. Arnie has never been more likeable than he is here. Charles Dance is aces as the baddie. His performance is so enjoyable. And me, I'm a sucker for movie in-jokes, references, cameos, and this one is full of them. There is never a dull moment. It's always fun and entertaining, and the action scenes come pretty thick and fast, and it's high octane frenetic stuff on a big scale. Last Action Hero is a phenomenal action film, and I gotta say, the soundtrack is integrated into the movie really well. Sometimes you can't distinguish the score from the soundtrack. Amazing. Amazing. John Woo's Hard Boiled from 1992 is at number 3, and I just had to have this on the list, and pretty high. It's the only film that I've picked that has no humorous elements to it. This is a serious and cool action film, and it was a revelation to me when I first watched it. It's not very often a film comes along and it just blows your mind. It sets a new benchmark in the genre. After watching it, you wanted all action scenes in all movies to be staged like they were in Hard Boiled. I mean, it kind of sort of happened. I mean, John Woo's style has been copied to hell, but I don't mind. I mean, action is supposed to get you pumped, get your adrenaline going, a thrill ride, and Hard Boiled is that. And it's balls to the wall, insane action throughout. And Chow Yun-fat is cool as hell in this film. Hard Boiled was a total game changer for me in the action stakes. Number 2 is Ricochet from 1991. Brilliantly directed by Russell Mulcahy, Denzel Washington plays rookie cop Nicholas Stiles, who is filmed apprehending ruthless criminal and hitman Earl Talbot Blake, menacingly played by a show-stealing John Lithgow. The meeting catapults Stiles' career and he becomes the district attorney. Blake, however, is languishing in prison with nothing else on his mind but getting revenge on the guy who put him there. What we get is a thrilling cat and mouse chase between the two leads, pushing Stiles to the edge before he turns the tables on Blake in a pretty iconic finale.
Told that motherfucker who had the power.
You got the point now, don't you, Blake?
This is another film I saw at the cinema on release and absolutely loved it. For some reason I have 3 movies from 1991 on my list, and I have a very strong emotional attachment with all of them. Ricochet is a riveting, suspense-filled action film in the vein of Cape Fear. Everything about this film is cool. It's stylishly shot with an excellent and memorable score by Alan Silvestri. The dynamite action is ultraviolet and the twisty plot is ludicrously exciting and suspenseful. This film is the very definition of a crowd pleaser. Ice-T provides brilliant support as Denzel's friend cum drug dealer Odessa, and he performs the pretty dope rap theme song too. Denzel, in his first major action role, gives a spring-loaded performance being put through the trials of Job.
You got the trials of Job ahead of you, mister!
John Lithgow is gleefully menacing and absolutely kills it in the role of Earl Talbot Blake, chewing up the scenery and getting all the best wisecracks. This is another film that was criminally overlooked on release, which again is crazy to me because for me it was an instant classic. It's streamlined and nail-biting. Check it out if you haven't. It's a wildly enjoyable and brutal ride from start to finish. And at number 1, and no prizes for guessing this one, it's The Last Boy Scout from 1991, directed by Tony Scott. I've pretty much already done a full video on this on my channel, but suffice to say this is without a doubt the best buddy action film ever made. A film that just delivers on every front. It's ultra-violent, it has insane action mixed with the most quotable, laugh-out-loud dialogue penned by the best there is, Shane Black.
Bit late for a stroll, don't you think?
Yeah, you girls ought to be getting home.
Yeah, street lights are on.
Shut up, fuckface. I'm fuckface, he's asshole.
Jake?
Bruce Willis is at his peak coolness here as down on his luck gumshoe Joe Hallenbeck, who is hired to watch over dancer Halle Berry. When she's murdered, Willis reluctantly teams up with her disgraced star quarterback boyfriend Jimmy Dix, played by Damon Wayans. Anyway, they uncover a conspiracy and spend the rest of the film trying to stay alive and kill the bad guys. None of which really matters, just know that this is Bruce Willis at his very best. His wisecracking charm just draws you in. He's funny, he's cool, hugely likeable and hard as nails.
If you touch me again, I'll kill you.
Bomba, baby!
We got a 2 for 2.
Told you.
The The sparky dialogue between Willis and Wayans just shines and carries the movie between the spectacular and outlandish set pieces. The Last Boy Scout is ludicrously fun and exciting and has great rewatchability value, and that's why it's my #1 favourite action film from the 90s. You should check out my Bruce Willis video pinned on my channel for a bit more on this movie. Well, that's my top 10, a very personal one if I'm honest. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't seen any of these classic actioners, get them watched. They're all absolutely brilliant. So, as the sun sets slowly in the west, I bid you a fond farewell. Could I have had True Romance on this list? Nah, not enough action. Okay then, see you next time. So long, chillers.
So that is just the drop in the ocean action films of the 90s, but there we go. Thanks for watching. Here ends the lesson.
Shut up, boy.